Hey, it's Mike. Thanks for tuning back in. Had an interesting realization when I bought something off of eBay the other day. It is a mail day, and we're going to talk through one of these items. Let's open both of them here, and we'll talk through why I bought these and the realization that I came to. All right, this first item is Sonia Heaney. I think I'm pronouncing that right. This is a 1937 Ogden's of her, and it's a PSA 6, which is higher than I would normally go for, but uh, it's a pretty rare card, and it's cheap. I think I paid $41 for this. Sonia Heaney is the greatest figure skater in history, in all likelihood. You know, I love to collect uh, the goats of their sport. And she was a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 10-time world champion in figure skating, and then she went on to become an actor in America. She was Norwegian, went on to become an actor in America, where she was one of the highest paid actors in America. So pretty amazing career and a great looking card. She has another card from 1937 too, but it didn't look as good as this one, and it was just about the same price. Both of them were at auction at the same time, and I went with this one. So really happy with this. Have you ever heard of her? Probably not. I bet a lot of you have not, but that's okay. I hadn't either until I started researching goats of each sport. And this will, of course, go on my wall, which I will show at the end. But in the meantime, as always, mail days are sponsored by the Penny Sleever. As always, the Penny Sleever is the best product, and when I get a new slab in the mail, I like to put it in a Penny Sleever bag. And this time I'm going to put it on right. Several of you noticed. I didn't think anybody would. Very easy. Perfect fit. ThePennySleever.com. Use my code JWH2025 for 10% off your first order. Highly recommend these PSA slab bags, which are the best ones I've ever used, and I've used a bunch. All right, this next one I found really interesting. I bought this off of eBay at auction. I had this eBay search, saved search for quite a while. Let's just rip it open. I had this saved search for quite a while. You know I'm a Celtics fan, and I love vintage. So I decided to put in for this auction. This is Dave Cowan's very underrated Hall of Fame basketball player for the Celtics. You know, he was averaging 15 rebounds a game at his peak. Didn't play long enough, didn't play as long as these guys today, but a lot of those guys didn't. This is a PSA 3, no grade on the auto. But that's okay. The autograph looks spectacular. And this, I believe, and I haven't checked with my dad, I should. I believe he was my dad's favorite player. I remember as a kid in our basement, I think, he had a photo of Dave Cowan's in the laundry room, which seems weird to me now, saying it out loud, but I'm pretty sure he did. And Dave Cowan's, this came from Canada, and it actually came from Slab Sharks, which is a company that Jeremy Lee is affiliated with. Seemed to be a very reputable dealer out of Canada. And I didn't give it any thought that it was from Canada, except that, you know, I was trying to make sure I knew how much the Canadian dollar was worth, and eBay kind of tells you. But after I purchased it, I got a little alert from eBay saying that I may owe fees to my shipper for this, because it had to cross the border. And I thought, oh no, how much would that be? I don't know. People were talking about it on Twitter too. They were starting to see the same thing. And I got a little bit worried that the amazing deal, because I only paid $41 for this too, or I'll put up the purchase here and you can see how much I paid for it. It was low. And another one went for like 2 to 3 times that the next week. And that was a 4.5. But the difference between a 3 and a 4.5 that's autographed is not as great as that, in my opinion. At least it shouldn't be. And this is a great looking 3, a little bit off center, but otherwise really good. And so I thought, I got a really good deal from Canada. But then I got worried about these fees that I might have to pay to go pick it up at the post office. But I went and picked it up. There were no fees. And I got thinking, does that make buying things from Canada better? But you'd have to probably look at auctions because the people in Canada are probably listing theirs for what they would expect to get if it was going to an American from an American seller. I don't know. I didn't do a ton of research on this, but I started thinking, well, how do I prove this hypothesis? And I'm not going to say I've proven it, but I did look up a bunch of 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Juniors, and PSA 9s in America are going for about $250 on average. Or I'll put it up here. Is it 250, 350? I don't remember. But in Canada, they're going for $30 to $50 US dollars less at auction, remember. And the shipping is a little bit more. You add a little bit for shipping, maybe 5 extra US dollars. But it does seem like you can get something out of Canadian auctions better than you can US auctions. So how do you do that? You have to go to ebay.ca on your browser, not through the app. I don't know if you can change it in the app. Maybe you can. And then you go to auction, you do your search, and then you filter down to Canada only. You can do US only from the US, from your app if you're in the US as well. And then you just filter out all the buy it nows and all the US based items and see what kinds of deals you can get. I I found it interesting at least. I don't know that I'm going to be doing it, but I'm interested if you try this. Let me know what you find. If you find that they're all the same, if they're more or less. I am very curious. All right. Dave Cowens. As you can see, I've got keep adding more things up here. I have some video games there. I've got my signed First Beckett's up there. Lighting isn't great behind me, but that's okay. My Ted Williams print from Matt from Providence and some Red Sox stuff that was already up there. Keep adding things, getting a TV in here in the next couple days. That's it. I hope you guys have a great day. I will see you for Attic Find Friday tomorrow.